Any guys you think are going to be limited today?
No, we're in great shape.
How good does that feel to be health-wise? Just feel pretty solid-ish going into week one?
Good. I mean, obviously we got the two guys on IR, but I feel like we got everything done in camp we wanted to, and we came out at this point relatively healthy. All the guys obviously that are active are ready to go.
You've obviously talked about the fast start early on in this calendar year. If I would have told you that things went the way they have over the past 5-6 months, would you have said that's ideal?
Yeah, I'm excited about where our team's at. I think we got all the work done we need to get done, put together 3 great days of practice, and clean it up on Saturday, and get ready to go.
Obviously, the depth chart came out yesterday when Lucas was listed as the right guard. Is
Yeah.
that the plan?
Yes, that is. Yes.
What has he shown you in camp to make you feel good about having him at right guard?
I like his experience. I like how he's interacted with the other linemen. I've got a lot of confidence in him. He's shown me what I needed to see, so I'm excited for him.
What's kind of your message to the team as you guys get started in game?
Well, now we've been practicing hard. We've been focused on all the details, but now it's game week, and so we can't let anything slip here on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We got to be on top of everything, and it's a really focused team right now. There's an urgency that's ramped up, and I'm excited as I see that and anticipate feeling it in practice, and get these guys, get them ready to go, get themselves ready to go. Coaches are ready to go, so and it's upon us now, and we're excited about it.
You said you can see urgency. What have you seen that shows you that?
Just demeanor, just the urgency to get stuff done in the walkthrough, get things corrected, everyone be on the same page. Feel good about where we're at.
When you look at the continuity on offense and then having the full camp with Joe and everybody, Jamar and everybody, what do you feel like you got, like the level you guys reached in terms of what you have in and what you can accomplish, considering the continuity and the chemistry?
Well, I think the chemistry is a big part of that. That's so much about what we do in the pass game is the chemistry between Joe and the receivers and the relationship between the protection up front, the different styles of protection we'll utilize. And so just to have everybody available for training camp and feel like we made a lot of progress there. We got to a point, we haven't played a real game yet, but we feel like we've gotten a lot of reps invested to where there's been times in years past, obviously we haven't had that until, the Monday of this first game week. And so I'm just excited about the chemistry as much as anything else that we've established up to this point.
And then from a scheme perspective, like how reassuring is it having all kind of the history as you kind of know what to expect heading into 2025?
It's helpful. I mean, one of the simplest things is just a year or two of Mike Gesicki. You go into last season, you're not totally sure how we're going to utilize him, how he's going to fit. And so now a guy like that as an example, exactly how to utilize him and get the most out of him. And then to add Noah, who's walked in the door and can continue to be a weapon for us as well. Everybody else has really been back. Samaje's just been back, for a second stint. So I feel really good about hitting the ground running there and really continuing to build out all throughout training camp.
First 2 preseason games aside, Zach, what have you seen over the course of camp and the whole offseason that gives you the most confidence in your defense that it's
attention to detail? Again, attention to detail. They've made a lot of things really hard for the offense. I feel like we've got a really good offense that's got the continuity of years of coaching staff, of players. So to see the level of competitiveness from our defense over the course of training camp on some days where they just made things, possible. And so I'm excited to watch those guys strap out the pads and go play on Sunday.
What about tackling? How has that been emphasized? How have you seen indications in camp that the tackling?
Yeah, we focus on every which way we can possible without actually taking to the ground in practice. But again, we pre-practice, in the middle of practice, every detail we can focus on. We've tried to cover that.
Did you have a conversation with Lucas, or has this been something that you guys?
No, I think Lucas could see this thing coming. So again, I don't like to get into the depth chart. I don't even look at the depth chart. It is, to me, this thing is always fluid up until the game. That doesn't mean we're making a change there, but I've always been reluctant to ever say anything like this because I know how things can change at any position. You say it at one position, then you don't say it at another position. What does that say? So I'm always very careful with that.
How did DJ Turner?
See from 2 veterans that you've had, obviously Dalton and then Mike as well, just getting
Yeah.
acclimated to.
Both of them just getting acclimated to how we're doing things. Mike, for example, has been practicing. He's been in training camp, and so I think from that standpoint, he's ready to roll. Dalton has come in and presented very well. Now it's just integrating him into our schemes and getting him up to speed and He's put every bit of time and effort he can into it to get up on the verbiage. It all makes sense to him. So I'd feel very comfortable if he had to go in there that he could help us.
Zach, it feels like there are less questions around this team this year heading into the first game. I don't even list all the examples from last year, but is that a bit of a superpower for you guys to have so many things answered essentially going into this game?
No, it's, every year is a new year. Every first game is a new first game. And so we just have to focus on the things we can control. I don't worry about whatever questions people have on us. Every day we've got things we're trying to focus on and improve on and try to turn some weaknesses into strengths of ours. So I just, again, I feel comfortable with where we're at. I'm not worried about what questions people do or don't have about us. We just have to go out there and play well.
How did DJ Turner come through practice on Monday?
Good. He's in great shape.
You think he'll go full today?
Yes.
How about the Browns running game, Zach? Obviously no Nick Chubb anymore, but obviously they have Jerome Ford. You saw him last year.
Yep.
How are they different? How are they the same?
Well, it's they have a really experienced offensive line. Tight end group is experienced, with Njoku. So they've got pieces there that have been a part of a long time. Stefanski's been there the whole time, and he's got a tremendous influence over the entirety of the offense. Tommy Reese has been there last year. Mike Bloomgren, who's had success as a coordinator, as a line coach everywhere he's been. So I feel like there's a lot of continuity there. Of course, they're going to have things that they've identified that they want to present as the season starts. But again, they've always had a really good run game, always one that takes great focus from the defense. That's an element that we certainly have to address. But to sit here and predict what exactly it's going to look like, I can't do that. But I know that they put a lot of time and attention into their run game, and they expect it to be pretty good.
Looking
Are
at
there
your,
any elements,
go ahead, Coach.
thank you. Are there any elements of an opener that you can look on and say this is definitely gonna happen, or is that the thing about an opener? You've gotta expect everything. I mean, is that?
Yeah, I think the things that don't have to do sometimes with scheme or talent level factor in. Penalties, turnovers, field position, all that kind of stuff factors into these games as there's no known commodity as you walk out there on an opening day. There's always going to be questions that you're sorting out as the season progresses. And so early on, you got to do the little things really well. I know last year on opening day, we did not do the little things really well. And so that's certainly a focus for us right now.
How has Al Golden impacted you as a head coach over the course of this camp, entering week one, just as a feel for going into it? How has he impacted how you feel?
Well, I like his confidence, because he's put in the work, and it's earned confidence that he's put in. He's put in the time to make sure that this defense is prepared to help our football team win. I see that firsthand from him every single day. There's just little things I couldn't even specifically give you off the top of my head that you can see as a head coach. Al's experience there, where just some quick one-hitters on things he thinks can help us, help me. Doesn't want any of the credit for it. Just, hey, here's something I think can help you. And it's not long, it's not elaborate, it's just a quick hitter, and I appreciate that because you can tell someone who's been in this role before how they like to communicate. And so I do appreciate that about him, and he's helped me a lot in that way. Charlie, do you have something?
Looking at the defense, every defense is going to face adversity at some point this season. How would you like to see the defense approach adversity in 2025, maybe compared to how you did in 2024?
Yeah, you got to be able to move on to the next play. And again, it can't snowball to an effect. And I think that we've got some new faces in there too that I'm excited to watch play. And talking about the chemistry on the offense, I really like the chemistry on the defense too. That group's got great energy. I have a lot of confidence in them. I'm really excited to go watch them play together, and show everybody what we're made of.
Where's Dalton at? Is he ready to go, would you say, if he needed?
Yeah. I've got confidence he's ready to go. He's, a veteran who knows what it takes to play in a game. There's not unexpected things that are going to come up for him. I feel like he's up to speed on what he needs to know from us. So again, I wouldn't hesitate having to put him in there if we had to.
How do you approach the defense of the Browns? They still have Myles Garrett.
They do still have Myles Garrett. Yeah, he's one of the best to do it. And Denzel Ward's right there with him as well. I think those are two guys that are at the tops of their positions, and they impact the game in a lot of ways. And they've just got a really good defense around those two guys. So not only do they have two guys, on the front end and the back end, but the rest of the defense is well coordinated, well coached. They play with a lot of energy, a lot of disruption, and they can make things difficult for you. And we've seen them as much as we've seen any team, and obviously got a lot of respect for them. And it's going to take everything we got to put together a winning game plan and go execute it.
Personally, what's it been like for you to get ready for this year 7 for you? What's maybe anything different compared to previous years? Or
I can't really think of anything different that way, because it's just, you just take it day to day. And it's just, I'm just trying to get myself organized for the next day, try to keep the team organized, keep everyone with a clear message right in front of them, to make sure that we don't leave anything unnoticed. And so that's just what I focus on every day. How that's different from year to year, it's hard to say, because you evolve every second that passes. You're evolving, and you're not even really, maybe if Callie came in here after being gone for a year and a half, he might say, holy cow, you're way different this way. Well, I can't speak to that, because it's just how I've been. But I feel good about where our staff's at right now, and we'll get these guys ready to go.
as the external expectations kind of continue to build, how do you try to stay even keeled, knowing kind of what you want to accomplish and where you want to go?
Yeah, I don't know that the external expectation will ever exceed the internal expectation. I mean, it's what we expect from ourselves is to be the best and to be at the top at the end. And so there is no external anything anybody can say or think that's different than the pressure we put on ourselves. So we put that urgency and expectation on ourselves every single day. I'm excited. That's why you do this job. I think we're kind of sick in a way where we want the pressure. You want the naysayers. You want all that. You want to walk into an environment where people don't like you, and you've got to put your best foot forward and walk out the victor. So I think that's what excites me the most about getting ready for a game week on the road. Just all those things come to fruition, and you got to show up and be ready to roll.
Zac, a couple of questions. You mentioned a lot that you have notes on players that you take. Those handwritten notes, do you type those out? And what's the process for you? I'm just curious.
It's handwritten. I can't. Notability, I don't know what that is. That's every coach uses it on our staff. They all have their iPads or computer. I don't even know what they are. Laptops, iPads, Surfaces, whatever you call them. They have the little magic pens. I just have a notebook and a pen, and I hardly know how to work my iPad sometimes, other than to watch my game or watch film. But yeah, I've got all my little black moleskin notebooks and my same pen I use. Doug could tell you what caliber it is or whatever it is, but it's got to be specific. I'll notice the second it's not right,
Yeah.
and I'll throw it at somebody and move on to the next one.
Is it the kind of handwriting that only you can read, or can others read?
It depends on the day. It depends. I really like, especially when I'm making players on notes, for it to be perfect. Sometimes if it's a daily task, it gets a little more illegible. That maybe it's shorthand so that I know what I'm talking about. That's the best I can give you.
Yeah, the last thing I was going to ask you is you've seen so many situations, as an NFL head coach now. Do you make notes on situational things,
Yeah.
games as well? Is that another thing that you kind of add to that?
Absolutely. Officiating, weather situations, how we handled a coin toss, how we handled it in the half. I think you have, I hope to be better every single year that passes. I hope to not regress. I hope to only improve. And the only way to improve is to learn from your past mistakes. I don't care if it was Seattle 7 years ago or Cleveland this year. All those have to be learning moments for you that refresh. I can think of a conversation I had with Craig Thorpe and pitch the other day about a situation that you can kind of name the 4 or 5 times we've maybe made a mistake over the years in a certain situation that I don't want to make again. So I think that's just, for me, some guys have an unbelievable memory where they can just not write it down and remember everything. I don't feel like I'm that way. I need to make notes to make sure that something doesn't go unnoticed.
Zac, with the changes you guys have made at guard, especially, having a rookie Dylan Fairchild starting, how prepared do you feel those guys are for what they're probably going to see Sunday against a Jim Schwartz defense that's got a couple new defensive tackles, one new defensive overall, and not to mention when they kick Myles Garrett inside in those situations?
Well, I think we've done our best to invest and prepare these guys. And Lucas, he's got a lot of games under his belt. And Dylan has been our starter since day one. We put him in there right in between Orlando and Ted. And it's been on everybody to help him develop as well. And he's taken it upon himself and done a really good job. So I'm excited to watch those guys play. I'm excited to watch the entire unit play. Those guys have bonded well together. And so I expect to get their best on Sunday.
Physicality of training camp has been noticeable. Guys have gotten after it in the trenches pretty well.
Yep.
In 7-on-7, offensive, defensive line, going after each other, run game, pass game. I know it's intentional. You expect it to have a big payoff for you?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think just the liveness of playing in the games will help us. in some small way, that the first drive we go out there isn't their first drive together, you know, with nobody on the field and people in the stands. And so, again, you never know until we go out there and do it. But again, I have high expectations for our group. Okay, thank you.